process video for the 52 weeks of 52 favorite everyday photos. And this is the last one for January, and also the last voiceover I am doing in the month of December, the year of 2025. This is crazy. So what I am using there is the sketch. The sketch came from December 10th out of the paper's issues, and they do like a sketch Wednesday, and every Wednesday they release one. So this one's got a bunch of like hexagons and a bunch of different shapes, and you're going to see me do a lot of cutting and a lot of snipping out of this because this one took me an hour and some chump change. It was crazy, and I had to like take a bunch of it down so that you guys didn't have to see my full process, because we would have been here for almost 17 minutes and I wasn't going to do that. So in this sketch, I will link down paper issues just so that you can see it. But in the sketch, there are some lines around the big hexagons that you do see, or the honeycomb shapes that you do see. So what I am doing here is that I am getting these placed kind of where I want them. And then I kind of had to take that one down and fix it. And then you won't even see the little glue spots. So I didn't glue the whole thing down. All I did was take just little, I did the corners so that I could be able to maneuver this, because I wanted it to look like a honeycomb. Like if you were looking at like a bee's hive, or you know how we get the chicken wires, and it looks like that. So here I am taking my innards of what I needed to cut. So I went onto my Cricut and I cut a bunch of hexagons, different sizes, and I kept the innards, or the negatives, or whatever you want to call it, of when I had to cut those out. And then those became my centerpieces, my center focal points for this layout. Now that I have a pretty busy layout of the background, I made sure that all of my hexagons, whether they're the big ones or the small ones, I did do a bunch of lining so that they stuck out because of this. Now I could have, and it would have taken me even longer, but I could have whited out my background piece and made that, but I didn't want to. I wanted this to stand out. I wanted this to be me. I wanted this to look, and everything about the collection from Simple Stories, the My Story collection, I got the collection kit, a bunch of other little pieces to it, and then the bits and bobs, everything. And then the flavors of the month was a non-DT kit that I put with this to connect it. So I am using my acrylic paint marker. It's the black one, and I'm adding my background to just to make it me. The pictures that I'm using are photos of Robert working on my first sleeve, and that was on my right arm. And it started therapy and an obsession of me keeping going. Now, I know tattoos are very much a like controversial, like some people like them, some people don't. Some people think that they're tacky, this, that, and the other. Well, mine are not your normal like tattoos that you would normally see on somebody. I definitely have, I'll admit it, I definitely did some major research. I did not just put some crazy stuff on my arm and now I'm covering them up. I started in my 30s with my tattoos. I kept hearing this stigma and I kept getting told, don't do it. And I finally just started. So it ended up being, so this is the upper part of my obsession. So I originally, I know that I have talked about it before, and I probably, in that video, has probably gone up. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've done that voiceover for that particular layout. But I think it went up the week before. I talked about how I started with my tattoos, and then my husband's got his one and only. And it started with my feet. Robert has done my two on my feet. And then when I got ready to leave to go to Europe, I went and got one that is on my upper shoulder and through my, where my arm is, like the upper part of my arm. And you'll see it in the photos. I got it there because it was a stigma of please don't, we can't show it there. You can kind of see it in that tattoo or in those photos there, and it's in the upper part. But I was like, I'm done. I'm not following this. I'm going to do this. Well, then when I got back from Europe, I went and added Gemini to my bottom forearm that you guys have all seen. And that's my zodiac. And then I added my calf piece. I've already filmed that way back when I got it for my birthday. And that started me going down a rabbit hole. And then I found this piece that I'm working on. So Robert did the upper piece right before I started my, fourth year of teaching. Yeah, my fourth year of teaching, because I only had that one piece. I didn't start doing that one until I hit my 40s. So here I am just going back through all of my pieces and just kind of going and figuring out where all of these little circles and these hexagons are. Those are going to be my clusters. Just kind of like how it is in the sketch, it's going to be like that as well here on my layout. I'm just going to go through, you guys are going to watch me go through, and I'll kind of finish my story a little bit about, why I did what I did. So my upper part of my tattoo, it's a full sleeve tattoo, but the upper part of my tattoo has the mountains and a wolf, hollowing to the moon. And it's got like a zodiac style sun rays. And I did not keep that bird and those two lines. Those are disappear. That's still blank there that you can see in the photos. But the mountains are definitely about how I go to the mountains all the time for cabin camping. You guys have seen a lot of our layouts, our trips. If you follow me on social media, you'll know that I'm doing this voiceover right before we go up to Roan Mountain in Tennessee for our trip during the holidays, because we always leave to go up there to do that. So these are like the things that I'm telling you, like we do a lot of that. So then my bottom part of my sleeve is got palm trees, the ocean, and then it's got like a wave, and it's just nostalgic to a lot of what happens in my life. And that is why I did the tattoo that I did. Well, then that's kind of started my therapy obsession. So then I finished that up. We did that in like two sessions. And then he went, and then I wanted a big, on my other left side, I started my other sleeve, and I'm kind of going back and forth, right? So my upper part of my sleeve, and that one I didn't take any photos of or anything, but it's my wolf that is geometric on one side, and then the true wolf on the other side. And it's got red and yellow eyes. And then I decided that on my bottom part of my sleeve, I've got another wolf that's long. And then I went back to my right arm and I added my 3 zodiacs to that. And then when I was going through my rough time in 2025, I started seeing a life coach. I started talking and getting through a really rough time with a person that was in my life that is no longer in my life. And it sent me, like, she asked me to read the Let Them book. And I read that Let Them theory. Well, then when I went back in to add my 3 zodiacs for my 3 children, I added the Let Them right underneath my arm pit. And let me tell you what, that one was a struggle, but you would see it in here, on the back side of this, on the upper arm. That's where I put it. I placed it there. So anyway, that is where I'm at. Oh, and then after I got through all of that and I started going through everything, I happened to come across this sword with a book, like books in the mountain ranges, and it's got a really good, so that's on my other forearm, and you'll see it in here. you'll see it pop up every once in a while. I know I'm going kind of fast on this one, but you'll see it. So there is my therapy. There's my story. So it ended up becoming therapy. Robert has done all of mine. I will not go to anybody else but him. And some days we just sit in there and we say absolutely nothing to each other. And we've got our music playing and he's listening to his book or whatever, because he is a huge book reader too. And so he reads his books and then I listen to music, or we talk about life. Like the last time I went in November of 2025 here, we just talked about how I have completely gone back to the person that he even remembers and things like that. So anyway, so here I am. Now I am finishing up all of these. Now that I've gotten all my clusters, I absolutely love this layout. This layout has become one of my favorites, and I think it is my all-time favorite that I have done in 2025. Now, I did not do near as many layouts as I've used to do in 2020, and like prior to 2025. I used to get almost 200 layouts down, but that was because I had a bunch of design teams, this, that, and the other. Well, now I am still part of the scrap room. I am looking to add to my design teams into 2026 here, but this is it. This is what it looks like. I hope that you enjoyed. The still shots are coming up. Y'all stay safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
I don't know why I go when I go. I still don't know why this war in my blood, why this war all that I love. Oh, my wandering ways and these faithless days, I find it hard to explain. My wandering ways, always turning away from your loving embrace, I find it hard to explain. My wandering ways, my wandering